All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification button, and follow me on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. All right, so this weekend we got a pretty solid card on DAZN. All right, I'm gonna be covering the fight and doing commentary tomorrow night. So be on the lookout for me tomorrow night. You know, if you Saturday, if you're inside, got nothing to do, you guys watching the fight on DAZN about 6 p.m. Eastern. The pre-fight start. 8 p.m. the main fights start. So I think there's going to be 4 main fights. Joseph Parker is going to be returning. He's been out for a little while, so he's going to be returning. He's not fighting no top guy, a heavyweight, but at least he's returning. If you're looking forward to seeing him fight, he'll be on the card tomorrow night. Also, we got a championship fight in the flyweight division. We have another one in the super flyweight. Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito will be returning. And as the main fight, we got Mikey Garcia against Jessie Vargas fighting at welterweight. All right, so this is tomorrow night, 6 p.m. pre-fights, 8 p.m. main fights. I'll probably jump on here maybe around 6 p.m. or whatever, just chop it up for a little while we're watching the pre-fights. And then, you know, I'll start doing commentary at some point, probably when Joseph Parker fights. All right, so yeah, catch me tomorrow. I'll be on here. I'm pretty sure I'll be on here tomorrow, right? Tomorrow night. So look out for me. Now, let's talk about the main fight. Mikey Garcia, Jessie Vargas. And this is not going to be my typical breakdown. You know, it's been a while since I really gave you a breakdown without really picking a winner. The thing is, I'm not a fan of Mikey fighting at 147. I'm just not. I'm a big fan of his. But I never supported him moving up to 147, even without fighting Errol Spence. I mean, I remember when he first started talking about moving up to 147 to fight Keith Thurman. All right, this is when Keith Thurman was out and he wasn't active. Mikey Garcia he began by calling out Keith Thurman. All right. Plus, he's always been kind of sort of interested in fighting Manny Pacquiao as well. That was something a little bit more believable because Mikey is a smaller guy that's moved up, you know, from even lower weight divisions than Mikey. Okay, so even though he's fighting at 147, you know, and even though he's a smaller guy fighting at 147, Pacquiao's a little different. I can see that fight a little bit more because first of all, who doesn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao? And second of all, excuse me, Pacquiao makes sense at 147 because he's just a different kind of beast. His level of athleticism is just on a different level from Mikey Garcia's. You know, even though he's small, everything else works. He has almost every advantage over his opponents when Pacquiao fights these guys at 147. You know, Mikey is not that athletic. He's just not. You know, not on the level of Manny Pacquiao. He's just not. He's a very good boxer. Very talented, skillful, fundamentals, everything. But he's just not on Manny Pacquiao's level. But I could understand that fight. But Spence was a mismatch from jump to me. And even though this fight, I've said in my previous video, I've done a video on this fight already. Even though I think that Jessie Vargas is a more proper fight, a proper introduction. If you're a top fighter moving up to 147, Jessie Vargas has been in there with plenty of guys at 140, plenty of guys at 147. He's been a champion before. It's a good fight. He's still young. He's still fresh. He's still very good. I still don't believe in Mikey as a welterweight fighter. He didn't do enough at 135 and 140, in my opinion. I know he was unified at 135, but he wasn't fighting the guys that's there right now. You know, he wasn't fighting the Devin Haney's of the world. He wasn't fighting the Lomachenkos of the world to get there. You know, it's just a different beast. And even though I still believe that he would beat a lot of these guys, he didn't prove it. You know, I mean, if he had beat Lomachenko, I would have said, okay, you know what, it's time to move up. But even moving up at 140, yeah, he beat Adrian Broner. Cool, good win. Yes, he beat Sergey Lipinets. Championship fight, good win. But he didn't beat Josh Taylor. He didn't beat Jose Ramirez. He didn't beat Regis Prograis. He didn't beat those guys. You know? If he had beaten some of those guys, I would have been like, okay. But there's still a lot to prove. There's still a lot of unknowns. And Mikey is just not a big guy. He's not big at 147. He's very small. He's not big at 140. He's very small there as well. And at 135, he's just right. He doesn't have this massive size advantage over guys at 135. Maybe some of them, but he's not a massively big guy at 135. This is a guy that moved up from 126. He's right. 130, 135 is just right for him. 140, he's small. 147, he's tiny. And moving up at weight, fighting Errol Spence. Errol Spence was a big mistake. I mean, I understand Errol Spence is one of the top fighters at 147. I understand the money involved, the fight at Dallas Stadium, pay-per-view. I understand the opportunity that's there, and the opportunity would have been there if he had won that fight. If he had won that fight, that would have been an automatic fight with Manny Pacquiao, without a doubt. It would have been automatic. But he did look good. He got dominated. He lost pretty much every round. He showed a lot of heart. He didn't get knocked down. But that's not enough. Just going to distance and surviving is just not enough. It's not enough. So this fight here, Jessie is good. Jessie is a very good test. And Jessie is capable of winning. I haven't really heard too many opinions about this fight. Everybody right now this week is still talking about the heavyweight division. Joshua, Fury, Wilder, Dillian White. Everybody's talking about this last weekend's fight, which is cool. Still much more to talk about. Still videos I'm going to probably do on it as well. But the thing is, no one is really talking about it, and I don't even know what people say. I don't know if people believe that Jessie or not has a good chance or not. But Jessie has a great chance. In fact, I think this is a 50-50 fight. Now, as far as if we're just talking talent, if we're talking about what each fighter is really capable of, I think Mikey has a higher ceiling. But at welterweight, no, I don't believe so. At welterweight, I don't see Mikey being a good welterweight. I don't see it. I don't see it. And even if he is to win this fight tomorrow night, I know we have to see the fight, and I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. It won't be the first time. But even going into this fight, even if he does win tomorrow, I see him struggling. I see it being debatable. Okay? Even if he does win, I see it being a split decision or a draw. That's what I'm seeing. This is why I'm not picking a winner. I see a draw happening. I think a draw is going to happen. Or a split decision. Or a debatable back and forth. Jessie won. No, Mikey won. It could be one of those. Or they might give it to Jessie Vargas. I don't know. But I don't see Mikey dominating a Jessie Vargas. Even though he looked way better against Adrian Broner than Jessie did. Jessie in the first half of that fight was easily outboxing Broner. But once he slowed down and Broner started to walk him down, all right, starting to get in his space, Jessie wasn't the same fighter. And Broner won the entire second half of that fight. Whereas Mikey did well throughout the fight. Yeah, he struggled in a few rounds here and there. Broner started to work on the inside and use his size against Mikey at some point, and he had a little bit more success. But overall, Mikey clearly won the fight. It wasn't close at all. All right, so I give him the credit, but styles make fights. And Jessie Vargas is a bigger fighter who has a great jab, a great 1-2. Fundamentals are on point. He's not going to be moving a lot. He's going to be standing right there. He's going to be right there. And he's pretty durable. He can take a punch. He's been in there with a lot of fighters. He's been a champion at welterweight. He's fought great fighters. He's been in there with Pacquiao. He's been in there with Tim Bradley. Okay? He's been in there with a lot of guys at 140. He gave Saddam Ali his first loss. He stopped Saddam Ali. The Saddam Ali that went up to 154 and beat a faded Miguel Cotto. He's faded, but Miguel Cotto's still Miguel Cotto. So, Jessie Vargas was able to stop him. Okay? stop him. He's fought above 147. So this is gonna be a tough fight. Mikey has struggled against Sergey Lipinets. He gave Mikey all that he can handle. That was no easy fight. Mikey won, yeah, but he struggled. He struggled because Lipinets is a good fighter. He's going up to 147, and he retired Lamont Peterson. He retired him. And I know Lamont was past his prime. Cool. We saw Errol Spence stop him too. But Sergey Lipinets moved up and stopped Lamont Peterson. All right? Felix Diaz didn't stop him. A lot of people felt Felix Diaz won that fight, but he didn't stop Lamont. Lipinets went up. So, look, what I expect, the thing about Jessie, the way he fights, he kind of adapts to his opponent. So, usually, excuse the noise, usually he likes to work behind his jab. He has a great 1-2. All right. Very sturdy, stiff jab. Throws a lot of them. Likes to throw the right hand. Very clean fundamentals. Jessie. He's not getting you anything extra though. Goes to the body. He's willing to trade. If you bring the fight to him, like who'd he fight recently? He fought Tomas Delorme, Humberto Soto. All right, both of those guys brought the fight to him. I thought Delorme actually beat Jessie Vargas, in my opinion. I haven't seen the fight since, but I remember the night of the fight, I do believe that Delorme won that fight. All right, Humberto Soto was giving Jessie a good fight. He was bringing the fight to Jessie. Soto's another guy that's smaller, all right, smaller, but he gave him a tough fight. All right, Jessie eventually stopped him. But, Jessie can trade with you. He could throw down with you. He can go to the body. He goes to the body pretty well. But I think Mikey is going to be looking to box with him. I don't think Mikey's going to be looking to trade with Jessie. If you're not careful with Jessie, at some point, Jessie's going to catch you with a hook while trading and put you on your ass. I don't think he'll hurt Mikey, but Mikey's been down. I seen Mikey get dropped at 126. Jesus Christ, it must be a fire or something going on. Fire department's going crazy over here. But look, sorry for all the noise. What was I about to say? I think Mikey is going to be looking to slip and counter. Okay, Mikey's all fundamentals as well. He's a far better counter puncher. So I think he's better at countering, better at timing. I don't think he has a better jab, but I think he throws more jabs. All right. He's definitely a high volume jabber when he's in control. When he fought Spence, we didn't see that jab. That's part of the reason why he got dominated. But in this fight, I expect him to use that jab, work behind his jab as well. But I'm expecting him to slip and counter. All right. And, Jessie Vargas can be countered. Because he does the same thing. He's pretty much one-dimensional, for the most part. But he's good at what he does. It's just that how much is Mikey's power going to be effective and be a factor in this fight? I don't think much. I just don't think Mikey belongs at 147. Win or lose, I still believe that Mikey belongs down at 135 and at 140. I don't see it, man. As good as I think he is, and this is a guy that for many years I considered him a top 10 pound for pound. And when he was at 126, 130, I always thought back then when I used to do pound for pound videos, I always had Mikey in there. All right, when he took his break and took his couple years off, when he returned, I put him back in there. 135, maybe became unified. I had him in there somewhere in the top 10. But as a welterweight, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I think there's weight divisions for a reason, and as good as talented as he is, he's just too small for me. He's too small. He doesn't belong there. All right, but I see it as a 50-50 fight, and I don't know who's gonna win this one. I think I see a draw. I see it being a draw or a split decision either way. I don't see a clear winner. I don't see a knockout or stoppage or anything like that. I heard that. I saw the press conference. It was cool. I heard both say they're looking for knockouts and stuff like that. That's cool. That's cool to hear. But to be honest with you, man, I think it's going to be a close fight. I could see a draw. I could see Jesse winning. I could see Mikey barely winning. You know, I just don't think Mikey belongs there, all right? But it should be a good night of fights. I will be covering the fight. So check out my commentary tomorrow night. And peace.